All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Fashion Trends Week 3, Chapter 3, Fashion Forecasting Theories, and Chapter 4, Modern Forecasting Methods. What's due on Sunday, October 5th by 11:59 p.m. Discussion 3 and Assignment 3. Chapter 3, Fashion Forecasting Theories. Fashion change theories. How fashion moves, directional theories. Trickle down. Celebs and designers wear it first, and then everyone follows. Example, Sophia Richie's quiet luxury looks, copied everywhere. Trickle up. Street style and youth trends influence high fashion. Example, jorts and dad sneakers started on TikTok and now on the runways. Trickle across. Trends spread fast across all levels thanks to media. Example, viral trends like Stanley Cups or ballet core take over instantly. Analyze fashion today. Use these theories to understand where a trend came from and where it's going. Spot early signals on TikTok, red carpets, or even thrift shops. Applying the theories. For content creators, designers, and marketers, these theories help you predict trends, spot movements early, and talk fashion like a pro. Fashion flows in patterns. Master the direction and master the trend. Why fashion theories matter? What are they? Fashion theories help us understand, explain, and even predict how people use clothes to shape their image and identity. Think, why do people wear what they wear? Fashion theory has answers. Why do we care? Forecasters use theories to track where trends start and how they spread. Example, if oversized blazers are rising on TikTok, theories help predict if they'll go mainstream. Theories spot patterns from the past to help make sense of what's happening now. It's like fashion's version of weather forecasting, looking at signs, patterns, and cycles. Using theory is like having a map of fashion behavior. It's perfect for stylists, designers, marketers, or trend watchers who want to make smart style moves. Fashion theories are like cheat codes to understand how style works, spreads, and sticks. How forecasters spot trends before you do. Forecasters watch what people wear, want, and do, tracking behavior and preferences to spot the next big thing before it hits mainstream. Consumers crave constant stimulation, new styles, new looks, new vibes. That's what fuels nonstop fashion change. By the time it's in a magazine, it's already old news for trend forecasters. Their job? To catch the wave before it even forms. Fashion forecasters don't wait for trends to go viral. They see them coming by decoding consumer behavior and desire for novelty. Catching trends before they go mainstream. In fashion, timing is everything. Spotting trends early before they hit stores or feeds. It's key for staying ahead. Everything is in motion. Colors, skirt lengths, silhouettes, pocket placement. Nothing stays still for long. Trend forecasters look at the tiny shifts that hint at big changes. Fashion is always evolving to lead, not follow. You have to spot change before it becomes obvious. How does WGSN pick the color of the year? It's not just a wild guess. WGSN are basically the color whisperers of the future. They scan the globe for cultural shifts, fashion trends, tech innovations, and even how people are feeling. Hello, color psychology. They track everything from sustainable to street style to social media vibes. Then, with their partner Coloro, they decode the perfect hue that captures the mood of tomorrow, years in advance. The result, a color that's not just trendy, but totally in tune with where the world is headed. 2026 color of the year, transformative teal. WGSN named transformative teal the shade of 2026, a deep fluid mix of blue and green. It symbolizes change, resilience, and restoration. reflects an earth-first mindset, inspires fresh thinking in a world facing climate challenges. It's more than color. It's a call for eco-conscious creativity and future-focused design. Transformative teal is like the color of calm change and climate resilience in 2026. Let's take a look at some top menswear trends for spring-summer 2026. Micro shorts. Hemlines are rising. Super short shorts are everywhere. Flip-flops with suits. Casual footwear is in, even with tailoring. Pajama core. Soft, silky loungewear. Sets hit the streets. Pastel power. Lilac, sage, baby blue. Soft tones with serious style. Stripes and prints. From pinstripes to florals, it's all about bold patterns. Layered trousers. Trompe-l'oeil cuts. 3-in-1 pants and visible underlayers. Statement scarves. Knotted neckwear, bandanas, and elevated colors. Earthy vibes. Think brown, olive, leather, and natural textures. 2026 fashion trends. Serving sass, flash, and function. Y2K is so back. Dig out your old juicy tracksuit because low-rise jeans, metallics, and rhinestones are shining again. It's giving pop star circa 2002, and we're here for the drama. Bold meets bougie. Fuchsia and teal are crashing the party. With your favorite oat milk tone neutrals, basically color block like you mean it, but don't scare the minimalist too much. Texture tantrum. Leather, sheer, quilted, and lace. Throw it all on. This is chaos couture, and mixing materials is now a power move. Grandma's tablecloth, but make it runway. Accessories on steroids. Oversized earrings, scarf hats, yes, that's a thing, and tech you can wear. If your accessories aren't doing the most, you're doing it wrong. Chick with the side of Swiss Army knife. Pockets, straps, zips. Transformable fashion is the new flex. Looking like you're ready for a hike? More like runway ready in survival mode. Go big or go home. Balloon pants and sleeves so large they could double as flotation devices. Plus crop tailoring. It's fashion geometry and we're failing math fabulously. The future is fab. Holographic finishes, sci-fi prints, and fabrics that feel like they were made on Mars. Green is the new black. Eco-friendly everything. It's not just sustainable, it's so last season. Think recycled, upcycled, and designed with planet Earth in mind. Chick meets conscience. In short, 2026 fashion is where your inner maximalist gets a spotlight. Your phone might be in your earring, and you can look fly and save the planet. Slay responsibly. Fashion Trends 101. Who, what, when, where, and why we care. Ever wonder how 1 minute you're rocking mom jeans like a boss, and the next everyone's side-eyeing you for not wearing cargo skirts? Fashion trends move fast, but there's a method to the madness. Let's break it down. Where do trends begin? Everywhere and anywhere. Runways, TikTok, music videos, street style, protests, or your cousin's weird DIY fit that suddenly goes viral. Inspiration doesn't discriminate. If it turns heads, it has potential. Today's fashion moment could start in Milan or in your local thrift store. Who starts them? The brave and bold. Designers, celebs, influencers, subcultures, and even meme makers. These are your fashion fire starters, the ones who dare to wear something questionable before it becomes iconic. They're the I wore it before it was cool crowd, and they're not shy about it. Who leads? It depends on the trend's origin story. Trickle down. Rich and famous wear it first. Then it hits the streets. Trickle up. Streetwear and subcultures influence the big brands. Trickle across. It spreads everywhere fast, like gossip in a group chat. Sometimes it's couture and sometimes it's TikTok girlies doing haul videos in their bedroom. Both are valid. Who follows? The rest of us, but on our own timeline. Early adopters jump in head first. The majority follows once it feels safe. The laggards show up when the party's already over. By the time your uncle's wearing the trend, it's probably on clearance. How fast do trends move? Faster than a Starbucks drink in the hands of an influencer. In the digital age, trends can go from obscure to everywhere in 24 hours and be dead a week later. Blink and you're outdated. From viral to vintage in record time. When does style die? When it's overdone, it's mocked on social media, it's copied to death, or your dad starts wearing it unironically. But don't mourn it too hard. Fashion is a cycle. What dies today will rise again in 10 years. Low-rise jeans, we're talking about you. The why. Fashion theories to the rescue. Trickle down, trickle up, trickle across. These aren't plumbing terms. They're fashion movement theories that explain how and why trends spread. It's not just fabric, it's social science in stilettos. Fashion may be fun, but it's also full-blown psychological and cultural roller coaster. Trends start everywhere, spread like wildfire, and die faster than you can say, "What's the vibe today?" But behind the chaos, there's a pattern and a whole lot of style drama. Directional theories of fashion change. These theories explain how fashion trends move, who starts them, how they spread, and when they fade. The trickle-down theory. Top to bottom. Trends start with the elite, designers, celebs, and slowly filter down to the masses. By the time it's in fast fashion, the fashion crowd has moved on. The trickle across theory. Everyone. Trends spread across all social groups at once, thanks to social media and mass production. Think viral TikTok outfits worn by your fave celeb and your coworker in the same week. The trickle-up theory. From bottom to top, trends start on the street or in subcultures, and then they rise to influence high fashion. From thrift store fits to designer runways, street style stays winning. These theories help forecast where trends begin, who leads, who follows, and when it's time to say bye to a look. Leisure class and conspicuous consumption. In 1899, Veblen, a theorist, coined the leisure class, the rich who flaunted wealth through luxury lifestyles. Conspicuous consumption is showing off status with extravagant things, art, couture, mansions, and more. Wealth, but make it obvious. Today, it's the equivalent of having tech, cars, jewelry, designer fits, and Insta-worthy everything. If you didn't post it, did you even buy it? Here's some examples of conspicuous consumption in the modern days. These are from Instagram. Conspicuous leisure, coined by Veblen, the theorist. It's all about living the soft life. No work, just travel. Entertainment and indulgence. In the 1800s, working was lower class. Not working was elite. So fashion screamed, "I don't lift a finger." Pale skin was a status symbol. It meant no sun, no labor. Women even used dangerous bleaching creams to get that milky glow. Nothing says rich like looking you've never touched a shovel. Dying for beauty led makeup in the 18th century. In the 1700s, European elites were obsessed with porcelain white skin, a sign of wealth and status. Their secret, lead-based cosmetics like white face paint and powders. The result? Slow poisoning. Symptoms included hair loss, skin damage, and even death. But hey, anything for the aesthetic. Looking flawless was worth dying for, apparently. There's a YouTube video included on this slide, and it's in modules. If you'd like to watch it, you can go in modules and watch it in the slides. From pale to tan, a status flip. When lower class workers moved indoors, pale skin became common and lost its elite edge. Enter the 1920s. Coco Chanel accidentally got sunburned on a yacht, and suddenly tan equals luxury and leisure. She may have invented sunbathing and made it the ultimate rich girl flex. Conspicuous athleisure. The leisure class shows off wealth by how they choose to spend their free time. Like working out in style, rocking pricey athleisure means you have money for gym memberships and classes. You have time to actually use them. You're basically saying, look at me, I'm fit and fancy. Because nothing screams luxury like sweating in designer gear. Conspicuous waste. Buying trendy clothes just to toss them when the next big thing hits, even if they're still totally wearable. Fads are fashion's fast food, quick, flashy, and wasteful. Classics are forever fab. People chase fads to show off they've got cash, even if it means drowning in discarded styles later. Fashion mags roast fads now, but give it 20 years and hello, cringeworthy flashbacks. Why were Jinko jeans a fad? This video is also included in the slides and modules if you'd like to watch it. Jinkos rocked ultra wide legs, bold designs, and that rebellious I don't care vibe. Perfect for skaters, ravers, and anyone wanting to stand out. Big and bold, the gigantic leg openings were eye-catching and defied traditional skinny jeans. Subculture cool. They became a uniform for alternative scenes like skaters and ravers. Comfort meets statement. Baggy, comfy, and loud, a combo people loved. They spoke loud without saying a word, making them a must-have for those wanting to rebel and flex at the same time. They faded when fashion swung back to slimmer fits, but they'll always have cult status in nostalgia circles. Conspicuous waste. Mariah Carey's shoe closet. In 2002, Mariah Carey showed off her massive shoe closet on MTV Cribs, room-sized and dripping with designer heels. Fast forward to 2015 and she's still flaunting that climate-controlled shoe palace on Instagram. Because when you've got that many shoes, throwing some out just isn't an option, even if you barely wear half of them. There's another video included here of Mariah Carey and her huge closet. It's also in modules, but you can watch that if you want on your own time. Vicarious consumption is a display of wealth through a partner of offspring. A rich man's wife, mistress, or daughter dresses extravagantly. Example, Gucci Mane and Kashia. Wait, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. They had a huge Miami wedding featuring a $75K wedding cake. The trickle-down theory. The views of Veblen and George Simmel, theorists, from the basis of the trickle-down theory, which describes how social classes use fashion as class distinction and as a badge of group uniformity. Direction downward from elite class to next adjacent class. Trickle-down theory and Veblen's leisure class. In 1899, Thorstein Veblen, a theorist, said that the rich, the leisure class, show off their wealth in some very extra ways. Conspicuous consumption was flaunting wealth through lavish lifestyles. Conspicuous leisure, not working and living it up with travel and fun. And conspicuous waste, buying trendy stuff just to toss it when it's out of style, even if it's still good. Vicarious consumption, showing off wealth through the fancy clothes of your partner or kids. Basically, if you're rich, you don't just have money, you wear it. More ways to flaunt it. Building on Veblen's ideas, Alison Lurie added these stylish flexes of conspicuous consumption. Conspicuous addition, wearing more layers than anyone else, more is more. Conspicuous division, showing off by wearing lots of different outfits, status points, or for outfit count. Conspicuous multiplication is owning tons of similar clothes so you never repeat a look. Conspicuous materials, flaunting expensive fabrics. Conspicuous wealth, rocking high-priced gems and metals. Conspicuous labeling, flashing big designer logos and brand names. Plus, Quentin Bell suggested conspicuous outrage, purposely wearing bad taste clothes just to shock and stand out. When it comes to showing off, fashion knows no limit, layers, logos, or even little tasteful rebellion. Trickle-down theory and Semmel's fashion cycle. Fashion starts at the top. The elite class rocks a new look. Then the lower classes copy it to fit in and feel stylish. But the elite can't have everyone looking like them, so they switch it up and stay unique. George Semmel explained this as a tug-of-war between conformity, fitting in, and individuality, standing out. Fashion's basically a style game of keep up and switch up. The trickle-down theory, more than just clothes. The theory isn't just about fashion, it covers all kinds of behaviors and activities. People want to fit in and stand out at the same time. But spoiler, you can't fully have both. When imitators copy a trend, its freshness fades and the trend eventually dies. Fashion's magic? Its newness and short-lived vibe keep us hooked. We crave the thrill of the next big thing until it's old news. The trickle-down theory gets a remix. By the 1960s, theorists realized that the old trickle-down idea was too simple. With more social classes and faster communication, fashion didn't just flow top to bottom anymore, it moved in all directions. Fashion became a messy, multi-lane highway, not a one-way street. Timeless style icons. Jackie Kennedy Onassis, Audrey Hepburn, and Grace Kelly mastered the art of understated classic fashion. Their timeless looks still turn heads today, proof that true style never goes out of style. Classic is forever chic, no matter the decade. From power suits to power casual, in 1985, the new upper class flexed their wealth through business, politics, and media, the original conspicuous consumers. By 1993, celebrities started dressing down, rocking tees, jeans, and thrift store finds. Today, the rich have perfected the uniform look, minimal, repeated outfits that say, "I'm so wealthy, I don't need to try." Why shout your status when you can whisper it in cashmere? Here's an example. Steve Jobs, he used to always wear his uniform of a black turtleneck and jeans, but he was super rich. Semmel's two fashion types of 1904, the theorist. Fashion victims, obsessed with trends to the point it's all about standing out, sometimes looking downright quirky. Anti-fashion individuals, deliberately rejecting trends, but it's still a kind of copying, just flipping the script. Whether you're chasing trends or dodging them, you're still part of the fashion game. Both types acknowledge the power of fashion, one in the form of exaggeration and the other by consciously attempting to ignore it. 1990 status seeking, prestige pricing used by retailers for snob appeal, conspicuous materials, use of expensive materials such as fur and leather, conspicuous labeling, wearing prominent designer brands, names, and logos. Conspicuous outrage, deliberately rocking bad taste to stick it to the rules. Think wild clothes, bold hairstyles, tattoos, piercings, and DIY vibes. It's all about rejecting society's fashion norms. Punk style with the middle finger flare. When looking wrong is the ultimate statement. Vivienne Westwood, queen of anti-fashion. This is Vivienne Westwood. Vivienne Westwood flipped the fashion world upside down by rebelling against traditional beauty. Think punk chaos, torn clothes, leather, spikes, and deconstruction. In the 1970s, her shop, Sex, became the epicenter of punk rebellion, celebrating DIY culture and encouraging people to own their style instead of following boring, mass-produced trends. She didn't just break the rules, she shredded them with style. Here are some of her designs. Vivienne Westwood's pirate collection was anti-fashion and rebellious. The pirate collection shook up fashion by ditching conventional beauty, twisting historical styles, and celebrating imperfection. It challenged gender norms and tradition, making a bold statement about individuality, rebellion, and pushing back against the status quo. Not your grandma's fashion. This was punk with a purpose. Adam Ant, punk's theatrical fashion icon. Known for his wild theatrical costumes, Adam Ant rocked a bold avant-garde style that echoed Vivienne Westwood's rebellious spirit. Together, they pushed fashion beyond the ordinary, turning clothes into performance art with attitude. Fashion wasn't just worn, it was staged. Here's one of Adam Ant's music videos. It's pretty classic. You can watch it. It's in the slides. But yeah, you can watch that on your own time. I recommend it. Vivienne Westwood and steampunk vibes. While she didn't invent steampunk, Vivienne Westwood heavily influenced its style by blending Victorian Edwardian looks with rebellious industrial and futuristic twists. Her fearless mix of history and edge helped shape steampunk's unique rule-breaking aesthetic. She's like the punk rock grandmother of steampunk cool. Imitation and differentiation. Fashion's driving forces. People jump on trends to fit in. Imitation. And stand out. Differentiation. The ultimate style tug-of-war. For forecasters, the trickle-down theory is a handy, if tricky, map to spot the next big thing. Track how fast it spreads and know when it's time to say goodbye. Fashion forecasting. It's part science, part psychic, and all style. Conspicuous consumption in the 80s. Yuppies, young professionals were all about showing off their wealth with flashy clothes and big lifestyles. Then the stock market crash hit, and suddenly everyone was shunning ostentation. Less flashy, more low-key. From look at me to try not to notice me. 90s to 2000s. Fashion and economy roller coaster. 90s economy boomed and people splurged on status symbols again. Post 9/11, trauma hit, ending the flashy era. Early 2000s, economy bounced back, but rising costs soon shook things up. The result, a reassurance trend, classic styles, practical spending, and playing it safe. When times get tough, fashion gets thoughtful. The trickle-down theory and social instabilities. Suzanne Kaiser in 1990 pointed out that fashion's flow isn't smooth because society is divided by gender, ethnicity, age, and attractiveness. These cultural differences create instabilities that impact how fashion moves and is adopted. Fashion isn't one size fits all, it's shaped by the complex mix of who we are. The trickle-across theory. Charles King in 1963 said that fashion spreads sideways, not top to bottom, meaning people within the same social class adopt trends at the same time. Key players, innovators, the trend starters, influentials, the trend boosters who make looks go viral. Fashion isn't a ladder, it's more like a dance floor where everyone moves together. Trickle-across theory. Fashion's horizontal flow. Designers create the looks and gatekeepers, think buyers and retailers, decide which styles get mass-produced across all price points. Fashion moves horizontally across social groups. Everyone gets the memo at once, from runway to real life, fast and fair across the board. The trickle-across revolution. With mass media booming, fashion spread fast and wide, no longer just top-down. Trend innovations bought early, and influentials set the style rules within their social circles. Fashion went from elites' exclusives to social scene sensations. Everyone got the memo. Mass communication, mass production, growing middle class, magazines, TV, movies, newspapers, etc. Mass production equals large quantities of products available. Imitation and differentiation are still dynamic. Yet the elite are now replaced by journalists, manufacturers, and retailers who now view designer collections as select with styles, which styles will be mass produced. Knockoffs. The post-World War II fashion copycat era. After World War II, knockoffs started popping up, copying high fashion for the masses. By the 1960s, they were everywhere, becoming a standard part of the fashion scene. Why pay designer prices when you can just get the look for less? Trickle-across theory and the rise of the mass market. Oh, there's a video here about knockoffs, and this one is about how you can tell if it's fake or real, with Vivienne Westwood. Those seem like they're pretty trendy at the moment. But you can watch that.
Hello everyone. In today's
slides in the modules. Trickle-across theory and the rise of mass market. 3 game changers made mass fashion possible. Mass media, magazines, TV, movies, spread style into info to everyone at once. Mass production, tons of styles dropped each season so shoppers could pick and choose. Growing middle class, more people had the money to join the fashion party. Fashion went from an exclusive club to everyone's playground. Status float / trickle up theory. George Field flipped the script. Instead of fashion flowing down, the upper classes copy styles from the lower classes. High status folks with power catch on to trends from below and make them mainstream. Sometimes the cool kids are those you least expect. The trickle up theory. Style from the streets to the suites. Fashion flows upward. Cool looks start with subcultures and consumer stylists at the bottom, then rise to the top of the status pyramid, when the underground becomes the new upper crust. The trickle-up theory in action. George Field pointed to real-life examples like from African American culture, youth culture's online influence, gender play in fashion, even leadership by unlikely groups like prostitutes. This theory shows how street fashion is today's fashion lab, where trends are born before hitting the mainstream. The coolest ideas come from the streets and then everyone else catches up. The trickle-up theory. Fashion from the streets. George Field pointed to cultural examples like African American influence, youth culture driving the trends, mixing of dance styles, gender bending in fashion, leadership from unexpected groups. I'm so sorry, I'm just repeating myself. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Sorry about that. Fruits Magazine and Tokyo's DIY street style. The eye behind Fruits Magazine is Shoichi Aoki. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he captured Tokyo's most imaginative youth fashion in the 90s Harajuku scene. Instead of copying Western trends, these style rebels mixed traditional Japanese pieces, kimono, obi sashes, with handmade, thrifted, and alternative designer looks. Aoki said it's less about sewing clothes and more about the art of putting them together. A true DIY fashion playground. When fashion becomes wearable art, Tokyo streets are the gallery. The theory of shifting erogenous zones. Fashion plays peekaboo with which body parts to highlight. In the 1930s, evening wear famously showcased bare backs, shifting the focus to a new erogenous zone. Because in fashion, it's all about knowing where to flaunt and where to leave them guessing. In the 1960s, it was all about legs. The 60s turned heads with a bold new focus on short skirts and legs for days. Why tease with just a bare back when you can flaunt those gams? In the 80s and 90s, it moved to the shoulders. There was the cold shoulder trend when shoulders got their own spotlight. Peekaboo cutouts showed some skin without going full bare. Flirty, edgy, and just the right amount of teasing. Lever's theory, the shifting spotlight. Fashion and cosmetics play a game of musical body parts. What's sexy and highlighted changes over time. One era, it's the eyes. The next month, then cheeks. Erogenous zones come and go, with each spotlighted part losing its wow factor after a while. Beauty is a moving target, always changing and always teasing. In 1979, the movie Over the Edge featured Matt Dillon rocking crop tops. It was unexpected, men in crop tops, way ahead of its time, pushing fashion boundaries with edgy cool. Who says crop tops are just for ladies? Dillon proved otherwise. The pendulum of fashion swings from a point of exaggeration and then it moves in the opposite direction. A trend terminates when all possibilities have been exhausted. So at the end of the slides here, there's a video about Vivienne Westwood. It's a documentary. It's in modules if you would like to watch it. It's very interesting and informative. So this wraps up chapter 3.